Spartans, we got Jan Martin in the house. Who the hell is Jan Martin? Am I saying it right? Am I pronouncing your name right?
Yes, kind of. Good. Close enough, Joe. Close enough.
How would you say it?
Jan Martin. Hey, it's French Canadian. So Martin, as we say in New England, Madden. It's good. All good.
You grew up in Canada?
Grew up in Montreal. Yeah, Canada. Beautiful Canada. Very close to where you are, actually, right? What are you, a couple hours from the border there?
A couple hours away. Hey, guys, for those of you that don't know, Jan literally stepped in the early days. He was bold enough to see what Spartan was going to be back in, 2011, maybe, early 2012.
And, something like that, yeah, 2012.
Yeah, and you came and you shook my hand and you said, hey, we want to do a partnership with Reebok, and you were partners with CrossFit, so that kind of was even though it wasn't an official relationship with CrossFit, it became like a cousin to us because we were under the same roof with you. Yeah. And not a lot of people were willing to touch Spartan at that time because we were so new and I was so crazy and the imagery was some crazy man in Vermont. But what?
You were, yeah, a little bit crazy. I remember my first trip to Pittsfield. I think I was on my way to Montreal actually, and stopped by Pittsfield to meet you and the team at the time. And you say, yeah, just go to that yoga place there. So I went to the yoga place and someone goes, hey, just go in the parking in the back there. Just go in the parking in the back. Then, and this car pulls over, the window rolls down. Someone says, get in the back. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? and then then we had kind of a good meeting. And I think that time we still weren't sure. We dragged you to Boston, and I think you wanted to test us, right? You're like, yeah, I'll show up. I'll be there at 5:30. And you probably expected the answer to be, I don't know, maybe later. I said, sure, come to the box. We'll do a workout. Remember that workout?
You killed me. I was my first CrossFit workout ever. And it was kind of a setup because Jan's an amazing athlete and he hung out with a bunch of amazing athletes back then. Listen, you could do a muscle up, so you're an amazing athlete. And and I think you allowed me to suggest part of the workout, which was burpees.
Yeah.
I think we had to do a rope climb. I don't know how many burpees. Was it 30 burpees?
I think it was something like 5 rounds of, it might have been 30 to 50 burpees, 400-meter run, and then I think it was like 3 rope climbs. And I remember you looking at the rope going, holy, what am I going to do here?
I started climbing the rope, and these guys, I was obviously catching them on the burpees. I could barely hang with them on the run, and the rope, they were killing me. So my way to keep up with them, because I didn't want to be embarrassed, was to slide down the rope.
Oh, your hands, dude.
Literally at the end of that workout, 5 rounds, 15 rope climbs, my rope, I don't know if you noticed, was red. It was covered in blood. But there was no way that I was going to be embarrassed, even though I ended up being embarrassed.
Yeah. And, I think that's where we got you. I think we got you at the workout. I think that's where you said, these guys are for real.
No, these guys are for real. And so we ended up doing a deal, and we had a great time together. And I remember you sitting me in a room in a big conference room, and you put a bunch of countries on the screen. And at that time, Spartan was in, let's say, 10 countries. And you said, listen, I need you in 20 countries by year end. And I said, how the fuck are we going to get in? Anyway, we ended up in 30 countries. And then I think it turned around and you were like, how the fuck am I going to support 30 countries? It started going like wildfire.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. I think, at the base of it, I think it comes down to align values between people. I think that's what ultimately connected the two brands at the time, was kind of a common vision of wanting to improve people's lives through fitness, and I think that's when there's a strong bond there, everything else can figure itself out after that. Like any marriages, there's good stuff, there's bad stuff, but when the purpose and the target is the same, it just changes the whole dynamic, and that's why we're still connected today, because I believe in what you do, and we have a passion towards helping people out, in our different ways, different field, but that's strong, man. That's very strong.
No, and I think you were and I were always aligned on that idea that let's change lives, let's get people healthy, let's get them sweating. Was that always your thing?
Yeah, I mean, was it always my thing? I've always been active. Like I've always moved. Grew up playing hockey, like pretty much, all of Canada. My parents were into running and marathons. My dad was a marathon runner. Not the most talented, but definitely like amazing grit, and fought through things. So I think they instilled me like at a very young age this desire to move. I think what changed everything for me was really discovering the power of fitness, and especially the community around fitness. Was in 2011, 2012. I went through a depression at that time. And it's kind of, you feel like the world's crumbling around you and everything is dark. And fitness, obviously family, my wife was one thing, but then like fitness and feeling alive through fitness and getting in touch with my body and kind of clear my mind. And then the community that went around it was so powerful in fighting the anxiety and the stress. And that's where for me I'm like that. Yeah, beyond looking good and being in shape, there's a reason why we're meant to move, right? It's to think clearly, it's to be better in our skin. So I would say the last 10 years, I'm like 46 now, 36, 46 have been, like quite a journey and definitely discovery of the impact of fitness on people's overall health, for sure. Definitely on mine.
There was a study that came out yesterday that they're saying exercise should be one of the things recommended for fighting the coronavirus, that they see positive results. You and I hear that, and it's like, are you kidding me? Like, you didn't need a study for that. It's obvious.
Yeah, I mean, you just look at the statistics, right? Of obviously it's not great what we're going through, and a lot of people are getting affected. But if you just look from a percentage standpoint of who gets affected, people with chronic disease are more at risk, and obviously we build a bit more resilience and adaptability through fitness. Doesn't mean that we're invincible. We just put the chances on our side, and for sure, for sure. I mean, the other aspect I think is getting a bit more traction, and I know it's important for you. It definitely is for me. Is this whole aspect of mindfulness, and meditation to fight anxiety and keep things in perspective. And I think the combination of the two, once you kind of really allow yourself to live in the moment, and then you kind of push yourself physically, it's real medicine. Like, it's not pills, it's not injection. That's where the real medicine is. It's going back to the basics.
I like that as some form of a tagline somewhere in our ecosystem. Real medicine, right?
Real medicine. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's simple. Simple. Try to do it every day.
What's your superpower?
What's my superpower? It's my superpower. I mean, I think I have an ability to see the big picture on things. To kind of zoom out and then try to look and see, in terms of how my life is structured, and then when I worked in the corporate world, to kind of boil it down to the essential of what needs to be moved around, right? So I can deal with the details. But I think sometimes like you got to be able to elevate yourself, and you know what it is, right? You're leading a brand, you're leading a company. Like, you got to be able to see the big picture and determine where are the battlefields I need to be. I think that's kind of in me. I mean, I'll work it out. I'll work and grind it out until things are done. I have a certain level of resiliency, I think, that I've built, and definitely my episodes again, fighting anxiety and depression, help build that for sure. For sure, something good came out of it.
Let's talk about anxiety and depression, if you're willing, because
sure.
A lot of people are going through some issues right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, you're right. It's definitely not an easy time for a lot of people. Being at home, you can connect in a lot of cases physically with the people you love, and that's real. Like you giving hugs to people you love, talking to people you love, spending time with people you love. So you're really kind of set with your whole self, and it can lead to obviously increased anxiety, increased depression. Some people like you and I probably deal with it, by exercising more. That's our drugs. Other people, they do it by, they have other ways to deal with it. It might be through drugs, through alcohol, through, through binging on other stuff. But I think, I would just start by saying that I think it's not talked about enough in our society, mental health, because it's not visible. It's not visible. And when you talk about it, it's seen as a sign of weakness very often, when I started talking openly about my battle with it, some people came to me and said, "Careful not to talk too much about it. It's going to limit your professional kind of path." I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I've learned something through that story. I want to share and share it with people. And I think, if I was to kind of take something away from that and talk about it, like what it means in the moment right now. Anxiety is sometimes, and what leads to depression is like people just like living in the future, making assumptions of what things are going to be and making bad blood over, building scenarios of what things are going to be. And when you look back, a very small percentage of the ideas we create in our head actually end up being for real. So this capacity to just be in the moment and enjoy what you have, I think, is essential. And that's where fitness and mindfulness allows you to just be there. When you're doing a workout and you're a Spartan race, or I'm into my driveway here, like I was yesterday, with my dumbbell, my jump rope, I'm not thinking about what's going to happen in 2 days. Like I'm suffering. I'm there. I feel alive, and that helps put things in perspective. So I would encourage people to just, to just spend more time just accepting what is, because there's some things you control and some you don't control. And what you control is how you deal with your body and your mind, and how you continue to develop that resilience through fitness and through a clearer mind. It's a journey. There's no end to it. I still battle with anxiety every day. It's just a question of how I deal with it. Your kids over there wanted to go and climb the mountain?
Actually, it's the people I've been living with here. I got Alberto, who's on lockdown with us, running the cameras. I've got our head trainer who's on lockdown. My wife wants to kill me because it's a very large extended family on the farm here.
Yeah, social distancing, right?
Well, we came together as a group 34 days ago, and we are on lockdown together. So
let me ask you this then. Like, what's your, because you travel a lot. I know your schedule. You're always, somewhere. You probably spend more time away from the family than you really want. How have these 4 weeks been for you? Now kind of confined to this place, being with the kids and being with the family and being with the same people. Like what has it meant for you? What did you discover through that?
Well, what I love about you, the reason I think we get along so well is you're always, I'm like that stoic individual. At least that's what I play on TV, as my wife would say. And and I don't need any coddling, and don't ask me any questions, right? I'm just plowing through. But every time you and I talk, you're, how you doing? How you feeling? So here we go with one of those questions.
Yeah, for sure. It's important. I'm curious.
No, and I appreciate that about you.
Thank you.
Look, as long as the kids work out every day and do their Mandarin and their math and their homework, I'm happy. At least my mantra, my internal narrative is, we're not here to be friends. I'm here to get you ready for the real world. A failure for me would be if you lived in the basement at 21 years old. So let's make sure you can handle things.
Yeah.
Right?
I think they're going to be fine.
They better be. I told my daughter yesterday in front of my wife, she was saying something about business, and I said, yeah, you better get your shit together. She's 11. You better get your shit together. I said, figure out your own business, because I don't even know if mine will be around when you're right. And my wife thought that was a little harsh, because can an 11-year-old internalize that? But no, it's awesome that I'm with the family. It's awesome that I'm on the farm. I haven't been here for a while, so this is great. It sucks. It sucks that we're dealing with what we're dealing with, all of us, right? I've got all kinds of issues across 45 countries. The bigger they are, the harder they fall. So, if we had one gym or we had one race, you could deal with it. 45 countries, 325 events, purchasing Tough Mudder. My head's about to explode. And the company pivoted so much in the last 4 weeks that I'm, and by the way, it's your old colleague Uli, is saying to my team, you got to have Joe front and center. And it's like, guys, I don't have a contract. You're not paying me the right wages. I should have a trailer outside with makeup artists. You guys are killing me.
So that's interesting. Like this whole dynamic shift from maybe like kind of the Spartan brand kind of morphing, the fact that you're now remote, you have to deal with it. Like, what did you have to tap into parts of your personality or develop kind of new skills, a new way to thinking that you did have before? Like, what did you learn about you in that process?
Well, again, you were kind enough to share your battle with anxiety and depression. I'll share a moment of weakness I experienced this morning coming down the mountain. I was like, what the fuck? I mean, I've been in business, Jan. I've been in business since my pre-teens. I made money. I retired, met my wife, have 4 wonderful children. And then Spartan somehow happened. And so it sent me on this wonderful whirlwind, but like, oh my God, I'm in the ring every day getting pounded. And I'd be lying to you if I said there aren't these moments of weakness that creep in, and I'm like, what the fuck? But then I shake it off because I get an email from somebody. I'm getting emails, okay? Obviously we got, which is, I'm kind of proud to say, there's about 70, literally the number 70 people that are really upset that their race got canceled. And they're saying things that I know they regret. And they're nasty. 70. Okay, between Tough Mudder and us, there's like 2 million registrations a year. So 70 people. And then there's another couple of thousand that have sent emails like, hey, listen, Spartan changed my life. I sold my business 4 years ago. I got a couple of $1 million in the bank. I'd love to give it to you guys to help you out. or I got to tell you my story. I was going to kill myself, literally. I was going to kill myself, had a gun pressed to my head, but then realized I got a race coming up. I want to get the race done first. You saved my life. And so you get those emails and you shake it off and you say, we got to fight another day here.
Yeah, right? The purpose is strong. The purpose is strong. So why? Because we've talked a lot about that, you and I, over the years. Like this kind of push hill, this rock, like literally pushing a rock uphill and making this work with all the battle. Like why is it so important to you? Like, why is it so important to you to make it work and continue to see through that? Like, what's that drive internally?
Even in tough times right now, I'd probably be able to sell the business and never work again. Okay. But I almost feel like it would be selfish. Like we have so much work to do. We help so many people. We got all these wonderful employees, and I'm not just saying it. It's like, I don't know. I guess I put myself out there, and I create this persona so that I'm on the hook, and I have to be held accountable by the world, right? By the world that we've created, this little community, this global community, and I have to hold the line, and I'll say it publicly right now, like. People say, what's your exit strategy? And I think about, because I've spent a lot of time in Sparta. I spent a lot of time at Cambridge University with the professors that studied Sparta, the ancient Sparta. Yeah. And I think, Leonidas, like, literally kisses his wife, the queen, and says to her, the story goes, find a good man. Like, he knows they're going. All they're going to do is hold off the Persians as long as they can so that the rest of Greece can get their act together. But they're not coming back. I'm getting chills telling you. And so part of me says my exit strategy is death. Like that's
You're like, hold the fort as long so that as many people as you can get healthy through fitness. You're like, I gotta keep creating that space, that thing that allows people to discover themselves and get more of those 1,000 emails you're getting, 2,000, 3,000, whatever that is. That's what drives you.
I think that's it. And that doesn't mean there won't be weak moments. And there must have been weak moments on that walk.
For sure.
That walk from Sparta to Thermopylae. But I mean, it was like over 150 miles with their sword and shield. They didn't have camelbacks. There weren't water stops along the way. There were probably moments, dark moments, right, creeping into their head, like we're going to our pending doom here. But you do it. Head down, big mission. This is what we do. I don't know.
No, but it's. I think you're driven by purpose. So your fire is burning. You want these. And I think it's interesting you say that. I think you really kind of elevate a community here through what you guys are doing. And I know I say you guys because there's also a big team behind you that I got to know over the years, and I think it's exceptional. And I think the community owes you a lot to. So to hear you say that you feel lifted by the community, I think is important because the community wants to do that. We're all humans after all. I'm sure there's some mornings where you sleep in, you get up at 5:15 instead of 5.
I've been, it's awesome because during this 34 days, there has been no snoozing. It's 4:15 because.
Oh, sorry, 4:15.
Yeah, because I know the kids get up at 5:15, but I know that I'm going to be embarrassed if that live show comes on and I'm not. I'm the guy telling everybody. I've given out 500 plus million burpees. 500 million burpees. Think about that, right? How could I not be on time? So death is the exit strategy. Hopefully I could live as long as Jack LaLanne's wife is still going 90 something. She still knocks out 10 push-ups.
There you go.
Yeah, LaLanne.
You will. Hey, last question for you. I think you got to go to the next one. A lot of people, obviously, in these situations, look up to you. We see it through the community and from an inspiration standpoint. Who do you look up to? Like in times like these, or in your most difficult times, like who are role models for you? Kind of heroes or kind of models of people that inspire you.
You know what I get? I'm going to go a roundabout way and answer the question. You know what I get from people a lot is, hey, Joe, I wasn't going to do my burpees this morning. And then I said, what would Joe do? And so I get that a lot, right? And so for me, I say, what would Shackleton do? What would Sir Edmund Hillary do? Right? And then I've got a few folks that have helped me in business. They're just so stoic in business. What would my dad? My dad was dying of a heart attack in front of me in the hospital. And he is still guiding the doctors and nurses on how to fix the wires and adjust. Like he just fought right till the end. And so I got a bunch of them I lean on. And I even think about people like, Lewis and Clark, anybody that went through tough times, or I create fictitious characters in my mind. Like imagine, Jan, you and I were going across the country during the gold rush, and we were lucky enough to secure a carriage, a wagon and a couple of horses, and we put our families in. And, my wife gives birth along the way, and God forbid the baby dies, and grandma dies along the way, and the wooden wheel breaks, and we get stuck in a snowstorm, and we got to eat the dog. And those are things I play through my head, and I'm like, we have it pretty easy.
Yeah, I know we do.
Right?
We do. And all for sure, and all this and perspective. We talked about how to deal with it right now. Just perspective. Imagine other situations people are in other parts of the world or were in at one point in time, and we're all gonna see that we're gonna be okay. So
we're gonna be okay. I want to start a Jan Martin show because you're one of the guys I think about when I'm going through dark times. I'm like, what would Jan do?
That's mutual. Burpees. I do burpees.
Oh, you motherfucker! You made me do. That's right. You're the one that made me attempt the 10,300 burpees. I forgot about that.
I was one of a few people challenge you. Yeah. No turning back when you committed. That was for sure. On the
fence. You pushed me over.
There you go.
Oh, by the way, one last question for you. How is our friend in China doing? How's Chad doing?
Chad, who was also part of the first few days of the journey, but he's doing well. Chad
in China, healthy, safe, family, everything good.
Yeah, everyone is safe. Everyone is healthy as far as the last time we touched base. I guess same thing as he's plowing through it right now, you know, with the 5 children and a big job, and obviously the dealing with long distance with the rest of the family and things like that. But you know, Chad's in the same mold, I think, as Spartans are made of. You know, it's kind of head down, trust that things will turn right for you if you do the right thing. You know, and that's as much as we can do. You know,
for those of you listening or watching, and then we'll wrap it up, John. Chad is a colleague of ours, worked with Jan, basically runs Asia or China for Adidas right now, right? And Reebok.
Yeah, for Reebok. For Reebok. Asia,
stoic, always happy, takes bullets. You'd want him in your foxhole. Wonderful wife, five children. And he was actually here on the farm the year that we had the death race, and I asked the racers to build a stone staircase up the mountain. So he's one of the people, years from now, when people are talking about who the fuck built that staircase, Chad will be able to say, I was there.
And I was there. Yeah, and Chad's a really good athlete. He's a beast.
Really good athlete.
Sure.
Thanks, John.
Awesome. That was great.
That was fun.
Hang in there. Thanks for everything.
Bye-bye.
All right. Cheers, guys.